It seems like many of you have been going to make merit offerings to mean various groups. There's a group of doctors who set up treatment for villagers at Kong Dara as well. Today treatment must have finished. People went to make merit at several places. In China, many groups across several provinces went to make merit. I rejoice with everyone's efforts. Today, Mother Nooch went to give a sermon at Bonjit Sabari. Those who are in Bangkok can go listen there. There won't be any homework checking here. In truth, what I teach you all is extensive. If you put it into practice, even if you don't completely end suffering, your suffering will be reduced. There will definitely be results if you practice correctly and sufficiently. I learnt from my teachers, initially, not learning very much. Teachers in the past didn't teach a lot, but you had to practice a lot. In this era, teachers teach a lot, but you practice little. Comparing the effort that you make with what I used to do, you can't match it. The effort that I made compared to my teachers also can't be compared. It has weakened with each generation. You must stay strong, be patient. If you want something good, you can't just practice casually. You will often hear I keep saying the word endure. People of this era have low endurance, are very weak, extremely weak. They cannot fight against defilements. When I was practicing, at one point, I saw that the mind was covered by something. The thing that covered it was both sticky, thick, dense, and hot. Not good at all. It's like you are imprisoned in a narrow place. Upon seeing this, the mind immediately thought, "You were truly born in prison, but you have never seen it." Through meditation, you came to know that you were born in prison. Living in prison, you thought you were great, like a godfather in prison. You thought you were good, special. In truth, you were prisoners being confined. The thing that covers it is sticky, thick, dense, and heavy. Finding a way to destroy it, it cannot be destroyed. It is very strong. It is like a strong wall. A wall without substance that cannot be seen. Thinking of others, it's all the same. In my mind, I thought, I was born in prison, I live in prison. If in this life I must die in this prison, I cannot accept it. After knowing that one was imprisoned in the cycle of rebirth, one must break out of prison, one must fight. So, I tried to practice every day without ever stopping. The teachers did not have to teach or repeatedly warn. To hurry up with meditation, don't be lazy, endure. These things never came out of the teachers' mouths to me. Because I was diligent in practice, you know that you are imprisoned. You must break out of this prison, must become free. So continue to practice. The prison walls gradually became thinner. Later, you will realize that the wall imprisoning you is the corrupting canker defilements that envelop your mind. The cankers have also permeated into the mind. The cankers permeate the mind until they overflow and encompass the mind. It requires diligence. Watch until you see the defilements. Must watch to see the defilements. At first, you see the coarse defilements first. Strong anger, strong greed, before you can see. Later, I began to observe from anger because I was a hot-tempered person. Watching on and on, anger began to weaken. I then saw craving. Craving is greed. In the family of greed. Found that craving arises almost all the time. Even wanting to practice is already craving. When the mind has desire, the mind strives. But initially must inform beforehand. If hearing this, don't think you must immediately not desire. At first, it's fine to desire first, then be diligent in practice. Practice until it becomes automatic. Practice without needing desire. Before the mind can meditate to that automatic level, it must rely on desire first. This desire is politely called aspiration, not called craving. So keep enduring, gradually learn. At first, only see coarse things. Practicing continuously, you see more and more subtle things. There was once when I went to practice. At that time, Luang Pu Dun was no longer there. I went to practice at the temple in front of the prison. In the morning, the monks ate their meal. I had already finished eating. So I walked around looking. In the whole temple, there was only one tree called Kradon tree. I don't know if it was a somtol tree or not. It's called a Kradon tree, and it had leaves. In Soaring province during the hot season, the water in the pond was only as much as a small cartwheel, very little. There were many fish, couldn't be eaten anymore. It was barren everywhere. Drinking water had to be found elsewhere. Seeing trees, there was one tree with a bamboo bed beneath it. I thought in my mind, today I will practice here. Sitting sometimes, walking sometimes, at this Kradon tree. Just thinking this. One teacher, probably Luang Pu Dun, shouted, "Pramote! Wanting to practice is already wrong. Speaking like this." I was startled. How is wanting to practice wrong? Observing, it was practicing with greed. Actually, it wasn't wanting to practice, but wanting the results of practice. If one could attain without practicing, that would be good. Achieving enlightenment just like that. What you want is the result. You don't want to create the cause, but you must endure and create the cause, because you want the result. Therefore, initially you must desire first. But desiring without knowing, you keep satisfying the desire. Mindfulness and wisdom never mature. But when prompted, wanting to practice is already wrong. Then I saw it. Oh, my meditation was done with desire. There was craving dominating. It's wrong in that being dominated by craving and not seeing it. If dominated by craving but seeing it, it's fine. Knowing the mind that desires is the practice. From then on, hearing just one sentence, Pramote, wanting to practice, is already wrong. I meditated with more subtlety, constantly knowing the mind that desires. Watching for not long, I walked wrongly again. When knowing that the mind wants to practice, I didn't satisfy the desire, didn't practice. My meditation deteriorated. In the end, I grasped the principle. In any case, one must practice first. Right or wrong, good or bad. Just do it first. Have entrance, then gradually learn what is wrong. If at the beginning you say, if you want to practice, then you shouldn't practice, because practicing satisfies desire, then this is wisdom getting ahead of itself. It's foolish wisdom, not real wisdom. Foolish wisdom takes the side of defilements. Therefore, if knowing that one wants to practice, go ahead and practice. But practice knowing that right now there is desire. When the desire ceases, you continue your practice. Otherwise, you will be at a disadvantage, being deceived by defilements again. Defilements are skilled. They are very skilled. No one is seen to be as skilled as defilements. Whenever you think of a strategy for practice, it works once or twice, and the defilements immediately know it. It cannot be used again. Using it repeatedly won't be effective. Therefore, when fighting with defilements, the mind must produce fresh, immediate mindfulness and wisdom in order to fight defilements. Using old wisdom and old mindfulness cannot fight defilements. Defilements develop very quickly. They are like drug-resistant germs, mutating very rapidly. Like today, you breathe in Bud, breathe out Do. The mind becomes calm, and you remember it, if doing this makes the mind calm. Another day, you quickly go to breathe in Bud, out Do, hoping it will be calm. It's not calm anymore. One day, sitting by a canal, water flowing past, cool breeze, water rippling in waves, seeing it brought happiness. When closing the eyes, still seeing the water rippling, it became a meditation object. The mind became happy, calming and unified. Another day, greed led the way. Oh, if I sit here watching the water, soon my mind will be calm. So hurriedly going to sit at the same place, by the same canal, sitting watching the water rippling. The mind wondering when it will be calm. When it will be calm. That day, it will not be calm. Defilements are truly skilled. Any strategy that once worked, used repeatedly 2 to 3 times, doesn't work anymore. Cannot fight them. And defilements are very clever. Any defilement that you have become aware of will hide for a while, disappear for a long time, until you forget it. Then one bad day it returns again, deceives you again, you make the same mistake again. Gradually practice, meditate on, oh, this is the one you've fought many rounds with. Once recognized, it runs away again. So defilements are skilled, appearing and disappearing, constantly deceiving, playing you when you're off guard, when you're not being careful about this defilement, being busy watching another defilement, it comes to play you. Defilements are very clever enemies. Whatever you think, whatever you do, whatever you think about fighting them with, they always know in advance. So what are you going to do? Your opponent is extremely clever. You must use the Buddha's knowledge to fight. Don't worry whether defilements will stay or not stay, whether defilements will go or not go. Don't worry. Use the Buddha's method, which is the practice of mindfulness meditation and tranquility meditation. You must practice. In truth, the development of mindfulness meditation will automatically yield mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. When you have mindful awareness, you know when the body breathes out, you know when the body breathes in. You are practicing mindfulness meditation. The mind is the knower, the observer of the body that is breathing. As you continue breathing, mindfulness becomes faster. Later, the moment you forget about breathing, When your breath changes rhythm just a little, mindfulness arises by itself, knowing that the mind has wandered. This is practicing mindfulness. Or sometimes the mind develops wisdom. You practice this mindfulness meditation. Like when you see the body walking while the mind is the observer. The body walks while the mind observes. Sometimes wisdom arises. Seeing that the walking body is the object being known and observed, while the mind is the knower and observer. The body is not yourself or belonging to you. This is the arising of wisdom. Sometimes you enjoyably develop wisdom continuously while walking meditation or sitting meditation. Seeing this is not me, this is not me. Until the mind becomes tired. When the mind gets tired, it naturally turns toward tranquility. You didn't intend to develop tranquility at all. You were just cultivating mindfulness, being aware of our meditation objects, material phenomena and mental phenomena. But at a certain point, when the mind becomes tired and needs rest, it automatically turns back to tranquility meditation by itself. Then it just sees the body walking, only seeing this much, seeing the body walking, seeing the body breathing, seeing the body sitting. But it won't see the three characteristics. It won't see that the walking body is not you, the sitting body is not you, the breathing body is not you. The part that sees the three characteristics is wisdom. The part that just sees the body, just knowing the body alone, with the mind staying with a single object, just knowing the body. This is tranquility meditation. So when you practice mindfulness meditation, when the mind becomes tired, it automatically switches to tranquility meditation by itself. This applies to people in general. For me, this doesn't work. My power of meditation is great. My power of mindfulness is great. Therefore, even though my mind is tired, it still doesn't stop observing. It continues developing wisdom without stopping, although the mind was already tired. For most of you, when your mind gets tired, you immediately fall asleep. When you run out of energy, you just escape into sleep. This doesn't happen to me because my concentration power is great. Even when my mind is tired, I can still endure and continue observing. This is where the problem lies. When developing wisdom and the mind doesn't have enough strength, the defilements of insight will arise and consume it. Therefore, when you practice mindfulness meditation, if your meditation is not strong enough, if your mindfulness is not strong enough, the mind will periodically switch to tranquility by itself. But if the mind has great strength, you must intentionally guide it to tranquility, deliberately do it. Set aside wisdom development and intentionally develop tranquility. It will be difficult. Slightly difficult. Last Friday, there was a layperson who told me about this. This person is skilled in meditation, a disciple of Venerable Noor. He meditates on the breath for just a short while and his mind becomes unified. Abandoning initial application, abandoning sustained application, abandoning joy, abandoning happiness, and entering equanimity. Then he just stays there, not willing to develop wisdom. This is a mind that is attached to meditation. Therefore, if the mind is attached to meditation, you must stimulate it to come out and develop wisdom. At first, it's difficult. After developing wisdom for just a little while, it escapes back to tranquility again. So you must be patient in developing wisdom. Conversely, once you become skilled at developing wisdom. This is the same layperson I mentioned after I corrected him, telling him to withdraw from meditation and just observe the body, to direct the mind to break the body into small pieces, to break bones into sections, to pull them apart piece by piece, and then have everything dissolve completely. When he was able to do this, it is tranquility meditation, a form of tranquility meditation, but a different kind of tranquility meditation that uses form as its object. It's not like doing mindfulness of breathing until reaching the highest level of tranquility, reaching the 8th absorption or something like that, and then being lazy, just staying there. When he came out to contemplate the body, tearing apart flesh, skin and bones, his mind also became unified, but in a different way. It unified with knowing, wakefulness, and delightfulness. not unifying into a lazy, quiet sleep-like state. So even mind unification is not the same. There are many different types and characteristics. Doing it this way has this result. Doing it that way has that result. Practice lazily without doing anything, just observing passively, and the mind will escape into sleep. If practiced diligently, dissecting flesh and skin like this, contemplating the body, the mind unifies. After contemplating for a period, the mind unifies. Why does his mind unify so easily? Because he has a lot of meditation. After contemplating the body for not long, the mind unifies. But this time, the mind doesn't unify so deeply that there's no awareness of anything, with only a tiny bit of feeling remaining. It's not like that anymore. It unifies, but it's as if it doesn't unify completely. One could say it doesn't unify like before. At most, it unifies to access concentration. And then, if one has sufficient morality, meditation, and wisdom, it will unify into absorption concentration by itself, and the path and fruition will arise right there. Now, when his mind started developing wisdom, he said, "Why is it difficult to develop meditation?" Within just over 10 minutes of teaching him from being stuck in meditation, when he was able to come out and develop wisdom, and then tried to go back to meditation, he asked, "Why is meditation harder now?" I told him that when the mind is developing wisdom, it doesn't want to do meditation. It's like when the mind is attached to meditation and doesn't want to develop wisdom. You have to force it. Therefore, if you've been developing wisdom too much, you must force yourself back into meditation. Whether you can enter it or not doesn't matter. Just continue with your meditation practice. Like for me, when wisdom development is excessive, when sitting to breathe, the mind doesn't unify. Instead, it begins separating elements and aggregates immediately. The breathing body is one thing. The mind is the knower. Sometimes it breaks down the body into parts: earth, water, fire, air. Wisdom continues developing without stopping. So at first, you have to force it. You want to develop wisdom, that's your business. Speaking a bit crudely, you want to develop wisdom, that's your business. I will just keep knowing and seeing continuously, staying with a single object, staying with this meditation object. Eventually, the mind will enter tranquility meditation. Therefore, when you've practiced a lot of tranquility and the mind refuses to develop wisdom, you must guide it to do so. When it has developed wisdom and refuses to be tranquil, you must guide it toward tranquility. You must have skill in this battle, having clear comprehension to know when we should practice tranquility meditation, and knowing when we should practice insight meditation to develop wisdom. This is the wisdom called clear comprehension, knowing what should be done at this time. And you must know even deeper how it should be done. You must know this, and then act without delusion, without forgetting, without losing mindfulness. This is the matter of clear comprehension. Not many people talk about clear comprehension. They only talk about mindfulness. Even though mindfulness and clear comprehension are different mental factors, mindfulness is like a watchman, knowing what arises. Clear comprehension is wisdom. Wisdom that knows what is beneficial, what is not beneficial, what is suitable for you, what is not suitable for you. Right now, what practice should be done, whether tranquility meditation or insight meditation. How to practice tranquility meditation, how to practice insight meditation, and when it's time to practice tranquility meditation, not forgetting and wandering off to practice insight meditation. When it's time to practice insight meditation, not forgetting insight meditation and turning to only practice tranquility meditation. One must be constantly knowledgeable and wise about one's own mind. Practice will become stronger and progress forward continuously. Is it too difficult? Nowadays, I'm starting to feel my sermons are getting shorter and shorter. It's similar to when I used to meet Luang Pu Dun. Luang Pu Dun went to preach at Lung Chin's pavilion. He preached for 20 minutes. But the content was already complete. All the stories and tales were cut out or removed. Only the pure essence remained. Keep enduring, going back and forth, coming back to this word again. If you don't endure, you won't get to eat. You can't fight the defilements. The defilements are clever. Don't think you're smarter than the defilements. Don't think you can deceive the defilements. You only get deceived by the defilements. You must fight with the Buddha's method. Practice tranquility meditation and insight meditation. These two must be practiced. The Buddha once said, to develop tranquility meditation and insight meditation with supreme wisdom, this involves having wisdom. It's not practicing tranquility foolishly or practicing insight foolishly. No. You must practice with wisdom, with clear comprehension accompanying it. Now, if you should practice tranquility meditation, then do it. Whatever meditation object for tranquility meditation you use, know it. Know the techniques for practicing tranquility meditation. Like for me, it's breathing. At first, breathe all the way to the abdomen, the breath reaching the abdomen. Once you become skilled in meditation, when we think of the breath, it's just a tiny bit, moving only slightly at the tip of the nose. The mindfulness of breathing reduced to just a tiny point. Once you've reached this point, don't desire for the mind to be peaceful. If you desire for the mind to be peaceful, the mind will become agitated, and don't fear when the mind is agitated. If the mind has already unified and then becomes agitated, know that it's agitated. When peaceful, know it. When not peaceful, know it. Don't desire peacefulness. If you desire peacefulness, it won't be peaceful. It's like wanting to fall asleep, and then you can't sleep. It's the same way. Therefore, you must know when you should practice tranquility meditation. What type of tranquility is suitable for you, and practice with a neutral mind. Whether peaceful or not peaceful, never mind. In a moment, it will become peaceful. But if you desire peacefulness, it won't be peaceful. Or now, if it's time to practice insight meditation, having the wisdom to know that now the mind has strength, is a stable observer, and it's time to practice insight, then you must practice insight. You know what kind of meditation object is suitable for you. Whether to use the body, use feelings, cultivate contemplation of the mind to observe wholesome and unwholesome states, or move on to contemplation of dhammas. When you develop wisdom, each stage will not be the same. Some practitioners observe all four foundations: body, feelings, mind, and Dharma. Some don't need to. Whatever foundation you're skilled in, start there first. Then eventually it will lead to the contemplation of the truths. It will lead to the noble truths all the same. The knowledge is the same. The understanding is the same. But you can start from the body, start from feelings, or start from the mind. If your strength is mature enough, and if your spiritual perfections are sufficient, you can start directly with the contemplation of Dharma. There is a person who practiced and entered into the contemplation of Dharma. Everyone should have heard this name, Siddhartha. Have you heard of him? When Prince Siddhartha was about to attain full enlightenment, he practiced breathing meditation. But he practiced with mindfulness, not like the ascetics, who practice breathing meditation and drift into absorption and such things. He practiced with awareness until his mind reached equanimity. Therefore, some people misunderstand, saying the Buddha attained Buddhahood because he developed mindfulness of breathing. This is only partly correct. If he had only practiced mindfulness of breathing, he wouldn't have attained anything except peacefulness, wakefulness, and joy. Now, once his mind was peaceful and equanimous, he developed insight meditation. He developed the contemplation of Dharma, the last section of the foundations of mindfulness, which is fitting for the Supreme Being. That is, he observed dependent origination. Later generations tend to think that he thought up dependent origination. He didn't just think it up. He had to see the actual phenomena. What exists so that suffering exists? He looked deeper. Birth exists, so suffering exists. What is called birth? The acquisition of sense bases, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. This is called birth. He didn't think it, but saw it. Birth is the hardest to see and the hardest to abandon. The final aspect is when the mind grasps the mind. The mind grasps the eye, ear, nose, tongue, or body. This is easy to see and easy to let go of. But where the mind grasps the mind, clinging to the heart, clinging to the mind, this is difficult to let go of. This is birth. When the mind grasps the mind, that is birth. Then he continued to observe. What exists so that birth exists, becoming exists, so birth exists. He saw the state of becoming. It's not thinking it up. Just thinking cannot defeat the defilements. It would only serve the defilements, making the self even more intensified. Some of you who meditate see the mind stuck in becoming. The mind goes in and creates becoming, then stays in that becoming, unable to come out, and sometimes it thinks it's even skillful. It's a becoming with strong views and conceit. Becoming has many forms. Becoming that is attached to sensuality, becoming in form realms and formless realms. There are many types. The mind creates becoming. There is becoming because there is clinging. Clinging has 4 types. Clinging to sensuality. Clinging to views. Those obsessed with self cling to views and create becoming. Oh, I'm so skilled. I'm great. I'm number one. No one can compare to me. Then becoming arises. Birth arises. Suffering arises. Those obsessed with self have no happiness. Like studying the Dharma and just using it to argue, not for discourse. Discussing Dharma is auspicious, but using Dharma to quarrel to show that I'm skilled is inauspicious. Taking something high and making it impure. He saw clinging to views. If one clings to thoughts and opinions, it creates becoming. There is clinging to the doctrine of self, clinging to the doctrine that there is a self, there is a being. There is clinging to rules and practices, clinging that practice must be done this way, must be done that way, practicing foolishly and blindly, observing precepts blindly, undertaking vows blindly, such as thinking one must eat vegetarian food to attain enlightenment easily. This is attachment to rules and rituals. Undertaking vows blindly. Because if eating vegetables and grass led to quick enlightenment, cows and buffaloes would all be enlightened already. If eating only meat led to quick enlightenment, tigers would be enlightened already. It's not like that. When monks eat, what do monks eat? Monks don't eat vegetarian food. Monks don't eat meat. What monks eat is food, which is matter, which is elements, which is food. Taking these elements into the body to repair the elements in the body that have deteriorated and worn down. Elements circulate and change, bringing in new elements. Old elements that are no longer useful are expelled. Therefore, it's not about eating this or that being good. Eating food, not about eating this or eating that. This will eliminate these 4 kinds of attachments. If these 4 attachments are eliminated, existence will not arise. The mind will not create existence. What is existence like? It is like a prison in which one confines oneself. That is existence. The mind is stuck in existence, imprisoning itself. Look deeply. Contemplate down to ignorance. The ignorance that conditions formations. Some practitioners contemplate until they reach ignorance and then cut it off. For some people, this is not enough, not satisfying. They contemplate further. What exists that causes ignorance to exist? They see that the cankas exist, therefore ignorance exists. Sensual desire canker. Sensual desire that permeates and stains the mind. Existence canker being attached to existence. Ignorance canker. Wrong view canker being attached to views. The ignorance canker, because one does not see the noble truths. The cankers arise. Why does ignorance arise? Ignorance is not knowing the noble truths, not knowing suffering, not clearly understanding suffering. Therefore, when the cankers arise, one cannot see suffering, This suffering is profound. That is, one does not see that the luminous mind is suffering. One does not see that the knowing mind itself is suffering. When covered by the cankers, one does not know that the knowing mind is suffering. Where is the knowing mind established? The knowing mind is established in becoming. One does not see this, and the knowing mind is the supreme suffering. It is suffering itself. Whenever one clearly understands suffering, patiently practicing meditation according to the principles of the foundations of mindfulness, practicing tranquility meditation and insight meditation, on the day that one clearly understands the mass of suffering, the cankers will be destroyed, shattered, and dissolved. Therefore, what is the condition for the cankers? Ignorance is a condition for the cankers, and the cankers are a condition for ignorance. They nourish each other. To break this cycle, one must develop tranquility meditation and insight meditation with supreme wisdom. It sounds difficult. One must endure. You see, it comes back to this point again. I am skilled. I am skilled. This won't feed you. I don't see anyone who is truly skilled. If they were skilled, they wouldn't suffer. They would have gone beyond suffering already if they were skilled. Now I can see them struggling and bustling about, like ants, like a swarm of ants. When the teacher monks look at you, you're like ants in a pan, and the person with the pan doesn't see that there are ants in it. They put the pan on the fire, and the ants run around frantically, desperately scrambling to escape. In truth, you are immersed in the mass of suffering. You are being scorched by the fires of lust, hatred, and delusion. Don't be complacent. The opportunity to escape from this pan, this existence, is not easy, without the Dharma of the Buddha to guide you. You cannot go, unless you yourselves become a Buddha, or a silent Buddha. Some aspire to the Buddha state, accumulating perfections to become a Buddha. The teachers tell us that Luang Pu Dun aimed for the Buddha state. Then, as he continued to practice, he grew weary of the cycle of rebirth. He knew the method to exit the cycle of rebirth, which are tranquility meditation and insight meditation, so he abandoned it. He no longer wanted the Buddha state. The teacher whom I met, Luang Pu Dun, did not aspire to be a Buddha. He aspired to be a silent Buddha. He developed perfections to become a silent Buddha. Therefore, his perfections were abundant. A silent Buddha's perfections are greater than those of a chief disciple, but Luang Pu Dun's perfections were not yet complete. When he met Luang Pu Dun, he gave up that aspiration and began practicing meditation for the end of suffering. When one sees suffering clearly, one no longer wants it. So better to give it up. Endure. For my disciples, there is no surviving without endurance. Truly, you cannot survive. I was a person of great endurance. When studying with Father Lee, he instructed me to practice mindfulness of breathing. I practiced every day, even when I didn't know how to progress further. I still continued practicing like that. For 22 years, I kept practicing. When I met Luang Pu Dun, he taught me to observe the mind. I observed it every day. I observed all day whenever I could. There were only 2 times when I couldn't observe. When sleeping, if I observed then, I wouldn't sleep. And when doing work that required thinking, if it wasn't time for sleeping or time for work that required thinking, I maintained mindfulness, reading my own mind continuously. When waking in the morning, I saw the mind rising up from the life continuum, emerging with a radiance spreading out and touching consciousness. Mental phenomena had already arisen. Feeling spread and expanded, immediately contacting the body. Physical phenomena appeared. Mind and matter had already arisen. I saw it emerging in flashes. And at this moment, in what position was the body lying? Upon waking, was the mind still with Buddha? I knew. As soon as I woke up, the mind continued with Buddha from when I was asleep. This is how I practiced. I wasn't just playing around. Upon waking, what position was the body in? I knew. I didn't just wake up and stretch this way and that. Upon waking, I knew what position the body was in and only stretched afterward. I got up and sat, walked to wash my face and bathe. I saw the body walking, or saw the mind working, remembering, today I need to go to work. I had karmic results at work. I encountered a boss who caused me to have karmic results. My boss would repeatedly review things, having me redo a single task dozens of times without finishing. As soon as I thought of it, my mind became bored. I noticed the boredom. Then I went to bathe to relieve myself. While relieving myself, I also meditated, continuously reading my mind and heart. Today elimination is quick, smooth, and comfortable. Today I can't eliminate, and I have to go to work. Traffic in old Bangkok was terribly congested. There was no sky train. When I was young, there was an electric train, the tram, but they discontinued it. Now they've built new trams. But the tracks are elevated, not cluttering the streets. I saw this. For traveling, the roads are completely packed. The vehicles were stuck, crowded. I felt uncomfortable, and I knew it. I stood waiting for the bus at the bus stop. The bus didn't come. There were many people. I felt uncomfortable, afraid of being late for work, and I knew it. When an empty bus came, I was happy, and I knew it. When an empty bus wouldn't stop, I got angry, and I knew it. I kept knowing like this continuously. There was a time when my mind was developing wisdom. It wouldn't rest at all. I saw the mind stirring continuously, day and night, for a month without stopping. I couldn't get past this point. I was completely exhausted. Standing at the bus stop, I thought, I haven't practiced tranquility meditation for a long time. Today I'd better do some calm meditation. Standing at the bus stop, with many people bustling about, I breathed in Bud, breathed out Do, counting 1. Breathed in Bud, out Do, counting 2. The mind suddenly became unified deeply. The body disappeared. The material world disappeared. Only the mind alone remained. When the mind withdrew from meditation and returned to the normal world, and the mind went back to look at the stirring, it saw that the stirring no longer affected or penetrated the mind. The stirring continued on its own, but the mind was not concerned because the mind was powerful. The mind had withdrawn and was no longer involved. If one observes the stirring for a long time and the mind has no strength, the mind will sink down. The mind will suffer greatly, tired, day and night. Even while sleeping, there is still stirring. You see, at the bus stop, I meditated. In the toilet, I also meditated. There were no exceptions, saying at this time, no need to meditate. There were no excuses. When my father was about to die, I went to stand and watch. When he died, I felt joyful. Rather than being sorrowful, my mind was joyful. This is the true Dharma. Birth, aging, sickness, death. My mind became joyful. Not joyful because of receiving an inheritance. I didn't get anything. There were many siblings. I was joyful because of the Dharma. I understood the Dharma, that birth and death are natural, ordinary phenomena. You see, even when visiting the sick, it was Dharma. Attending a funeral was Dharma. Everything was Dharma. Even standing to urinate was Dharma. Therefore, you should not neglect. I said that when I look at you all. Extremely lazy, rarely practice. For this, there is an old saying that goes, making merit for face, meditation to avoid death. Making merit for face means that when people can see, then one makes merit to gain face and status. Meditation to avoid death means that normally one doesn't meditate when boarding an airplane and turbulence comes, making the plane rock. Then oh, Budo, Budo, Budo. Oh, now they meditate. Don't practice like that. Practice all the time. If you can practice all the time, except when sleeping and when working, then the path, fruition, and nibbana are not far away. What you do are tranquility meditation and insight meditation. As for morality, you must observe the 5 precepts as your foundation. Don't let them be broken or deficient. Today I've taught you this much. Was it too difficult? Look enthusiastic. Keep fighting. It must be like this. The type, Luangpu, I feel discouraged. Well, be discouraged. Don't bother with me. I don't like cowardly or weak people. A practitioner is a warrior. This war is not an ordinary war. It's a war to eliminate rebirth. Not a war of genocide. It's a war to eliminate rebirth. To leave no trace of it in the future. Therefore, this war is a great war. Don't be weak. Number 1.
Number 1. I sit observing the body and mind working, whatever I happen to see. But I tend to drift away, get stuck, and become locked in. The more I want to escape, the more I strive. If I stare at it, it becomes tighter and more exhausting. After breaking free for a while, I go back in again. So I think, whatever happens, let it happen, and I just observe it. If in this lifetime I can truly only do this much, I will keep enduring. Even if I have to crawl, I will continue as much as I can. Please teach me, Luang Pu.
Endure. It's good that you're practicing. But your mind is not entering the foundation right now. Can you see that? If you can see it, that's fine. Don't force it to enter. When the mind doesn't enter the foundation, know that it's not entering. Just continue with our meditation practice. Eventually, it will enter by itself. If you want it to enter, it won't enter. Keep enduring. That's good. And when the mind becomes clouded, be aware of it. When cloudiness intrudes into the mind, just know it. Whatever intrudes, just know it. Keep enduring is good. This life is suffering. Do you feel that? There is only suffering. No need to cry. If you cry, observe the body crying, while the mind is the observer. In your meditation, you don't pretend. If the mind suffers, know that it suffers. If it wants to cry, if it experiences rapture, whatever happens, that's its business. Don't force, don't resist. But if the mind wants to do something unwholesome, don't follow it. If you want to curse at someone, and you say don't force yourself, so you curse, that's not acceptable. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Life has nothing else except suffering. Everyone suffers. It's not just you suffering alone. If you see correctly, you will know that in this world, there is no one who is truly happy. Everyone suffers. That's why we call everyone fellow sufferers. Everyone suffers the same. It's not just you suffering alone. Keep observing deeply. And why should we suffer forever? We must find a way to end suffering. Make offerings, maintain moral precepts, practice meditation. This will gradually bring you closer to the end of suffering. Number 2.
Number 2. I practice in a formal way by sitting in meditation for 30 minutes daily. In daily life, sometimes I can be very aware, sometimes I get lost for long periods. I see the intention behind speaking. I understand that what I'm doing is correct. Please advise me on methods for developing wisdom, Luang Pu.
You're still trying to make your mind still. Can you see that? Right now, you're conditioning the mind to be still. Do you feel it? This state of mind is not ordinary. This mind is tight and heavy. With a mind like this, you cannot yet develop wisdom. Don't rush to develop it. Practice meditation correctly first. Smile sweetly. See the body smiling. Nod your head. Turn left and right. You're being too intentional. Turn with a normal mind. We must practice until our mind returns to its original state, a normal mind, a radiant mind. With a mind like this, wisdom cannot develop. It's dull. Therefore, from now on, be aware when the body moves. Be aware when the body moves, until you break free from what you're stuck on. What you're stuck on makes you tight. If you're still tight, don't try to develop wisdom yet. Your meditation is not yet sufficient. Number 3.
Number 3. I practice mindfulness of the body, contemplate the body, and maintain mindfulness in daily life. I also practice mindfulness of breathing. The basic nature of my mind does not favor developing wisdom. In my current practice, are there any points that need improvement?
Your mind is still agitated. Can you see that? When the mind is scattered, cultivate tranquility, recite Buddha, or whatever. Just keep doing it. Once peaceful, don't remain idle. Come out and observe the body displaying the 3 characteristics. When observing the mind, you observe impermanence, suffering, and non-self. When you observe the body, you observe 4 truths. It is impure, impermanent, suffering, and non-self. You can observe from the perspective of impurity. The mind will suppress sensual desire, which is tranquility meditation. Then the mind breaks free from sensual desire. The mind becomes peaceful and strong, and then you can observe the 3 characteristics of the body. Breathe and be aware. Breathe and be aware. Don't intentionally try to be aware, just breathe. See the body breathing. The mind is just the one who is aware. Too much and it becomes tight. In your meditation, learn to read your own mind. If there is much greed, it will become tight. That's working well. Be self-aware. If the mind has strength at this point without intention, you can now develop wisdom. Lead it out to contemplate the body. Don't look directly at the mind itself. It will become lazy. It will not want to develop wisdom. Some people are confused. I tell them to focus the mind at the back of the neck. I say this must be focused on. What they're doing is already good. I want to build upon that, so tell them to focus there. So they wonder, if what they're doing is already good, why must they do something else? Why must they observe the back of the neck? It is good. Good has many levels. For someone who has never meditated before and then starts to meditate, I says that's already good. Therefore, when I say good, it doesn't mean excellent. It means good at this point. But you must continue to develop further. If I tell someone to observe the back of the neck, it means their mind is projecting outward violently. The mind goes forward strongly, like this. No matter what they do, it won't come inward. Focus right here. This is a strategy, not a principle. When you continue to focus, mindfulness keeps recalling the back of the neck and the mind gathers inward. The mind will become firmly established with strength and power. Then it will develop further, better than before. Some people are confused when I say good. They think they don't need to do anything else. Doing just this is enough. Doing just this is enough is like studying in first grade and getting all A grades in first grade. That doesn't mean you're good at second grade. It's a different thing. Number 4.
Number 4. In formal practice, I used to get stuck in fixed concentration by observing the breath. Recently, I changed to observing the body breathing instead. In daily life, I try to be self-aware frequently. Greed has decreased, but anger still arises often. Once I saw the mind arising and ceasing, followed by seeing defilements. I am good, I am skilled, then the mind became dejected. Please kindly give me guidance, Luang Pu.
You're doing well. Keep doing it. If your meditation allows you to see your own defilements, this is effective. Good. Continue to practice. Number 5.
Number 5. Every day I chant prayers, pay homage to the Buddha, and practice meditation. My mindfulness is not yet quick enough to catch up with defilements, but sometimes I can be aware of defilements in time. I am a person with much anger. I try to have mindfulness to know quickly. May I request Luang Pu to recommend a practice approach that suits my temperament?
You are controlling the mind too much. During practice, the mind must be more relaxed than this. You are too serious. Can you see that right now you are very serious? It becomes tight, tense, constricted. You must have a mind that is normal. A normal mind is a mind that doesn't have the intention to practice. Just this ordinary mind. Then be mindful of the body and mind with this ordinary mind. Number 5 is doing well. It's working. Your meditation is strong and good. Just adjust a little bit. Do you know when the mind flows into thinking? This is good. If your mind has strength like this, then when the mind moves or shifts, it sees by itself. Therefore, every day cultivate calmness. When sufficiently calm, then allow the mind to work on its own. When it sneaks away to think, be aware of it. When it slips into fixed staring, be aware of it. You're good. Number 5. You're doing well. Your meditation is strong and good. But don't let it slip away. Having meditation, then be aware of your own mind. When the mind slips into fixed staring, be aware of it. When the mind flows into thinking, be aware of it. Having meditation, then be frequently aware of your own mind. It will develop quickly. At this point, do you know when you've become lost? Number 5. Knowing like this is not forbiddance. Lost then aware, lost again then aware, right? Do you see? Do you feel that the mind here is now bright? This is the knowing mind, the awakened mind, the brightened mind. This mind arises from having mindfulness that is aware of the flowing mind. You cannot suddenly make the mind bright. The mind is non-self. Let's have mindfulness to be aware of the mind that is unstable. It flows toward eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind. Then it will become a stable observer. Once a stable observer, one can develop wisdom. A mind with strength like this will immediately see the body is not self. Happiness, suffering, good, bad are not self. And we see the mind working by itself. Number 6.
Number 6. During this period, my body is frequently ill, making me see the uncertainty of the body. But I have never been discouraged in fighting against it. I practice consistently every day. I prioritize giving time to practice and having mindfulness of body and mind. I am increasingly aware of wholesome and unwholesome states. I observe the 5 precepts well. Currently, what I clearly see is a restless, anxious mind. I try to maintain awareness of this condition. May I request Luang Pu's guidance on practice?
Just be aware. Continue to be aware. Whatever arises, be aware of that. Don't be troubled about what this is. Whether to preserve it, how to fix it, no need. Simply be aware continuously. Are you hot-tempered? Making a sweet smile but inside feeling fierce. The practice you're doing is already good. Continue doing it. When angry, don't let it come out through the mouth. Practice this well. Otherwise, when angry, it will come out through the mouth. Number 7.
Number 7. Anger arises frequently. The mind is not neutral. There is suffering in the mind. Once, perception ceased while driving. It happened in the form of seeing the mind and the world separate for a brief moment. The mind wandered and saw other people's minds, saw a vision that I was a dog playing happily. Seeing this, I was startled and afraid of being reborn as a dog. Saw the state of this world having everything, yet not being anything in particular. And everything in this world is just various colors. May I request Luangpu's kind teaching on whether what I saw was right or wrong?
You see correctly, but the mind must be neutral. The mind must have strength. Otherwise, when you see, sadness can dominate your mind. Your mind must have enough strength. Just keep observing. It's good already. You observe diligently and well. Keep observing continually. Understanding will increase more and more. Then you will know, in your practice, we are not aiming for any particular thing. Not saying you'll get goodness, happiness, peace, anything. Just meditate. What you gain is right view. Knowing that everything arises and ceases. This life is temporary and so on. Keep knowing. Keep watching. This world has only temporary things. Keep observing continually. Number 8.
Number 8. In the form of watching the in and out breath. My mind still lacks strength. It gets distracted easily, gets lost easily, has many negative thoughts. Sometimes I see, sometimes I don't see. I know my own background, but still cannot accept it. I want to improve. I want to be better than others. In daily life, I try to manage my life well, maintain self-awareness, do things moment by moment. I've listened to Dhamma for a long time and understand everything, but feel that I haven't changed much. May I request Luangpu's guidance?
Recite prayers frequently. The mind will gain much meditation. Keep reciting prayers. Whenever you have free time, sit and recite prayers mentally. Your mind will not be scattered. It will make practice easier. While sitting idle, recite prayers, but not reciting to become calm. Just recite continuously. Whether it become calm or not, it doesn't matter, just recite. Soon the mind will have even more strength. Your intention is too intense. Make your mind relaxed, recite prayers. Then you will gain meditation. The mind will develop strength. If you don't have meditation, you truly cannot develop wisdom. You will be able to observe only briefly before becoming distracted. Therefore, you help it by continuously reciting prayers. Today I will teach until this point. Do you see that nothing in this world is permanent? At first, Mu Deng had great gain. Don't you see? Nowadays fewer people go to see it. Income is decreasing. Once there were many people praising it. Now people are becoming indifferent, hardly talking about it anymore. Instead, they talk about the tiger and such. This is gain, and loss of gain, honor and loss of honor, criticism and praise, happiness and suffering. Mu Deng once had the honor of being a star, becoming viral. Now it's hardly so anymore. Everything in this world falls under worldly conditions entirely. Our life is not permanent or certain in any way. When there is an opportunity to create goodness, hurry to do it, before you are unable to do so. If you cannot cross to the other shore today, then walk closer to the shore. Swim toward the shore, getting closer every day. Please return home.